Have you ever watched a couple argue about money and thought to yourself, that is never going to be me? And then fast forward a few years into your own relationship, and suddenly you are having the exact same fight over a credit card statement or a surprise purchase that somehow nobody mentioned? Yeah, money has a way of doing that. It sneaks into relationships and creates this invisible wall between two people who genuinely love each other, and most couples have absolutely no idea why it keeps happening. Today we are talking about exactly that: how to merge finances with someone you love without turning your kitchen table into a battlefield. And I am going to give you the actual framework that works, not the generic advice you have heard 1,000 times, but the real stuff that couples use to build financial lives together without destroying the relationship in the process. Before we get into the good stuff, I want you to think about something for a second. Think about the last time money came up in your relationship and it did not go well. Maybe it was a small thing. Maybe it was massive. Whatever it was, I want you to hold that moment in your mind, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why that happened, and more importantly, what to do differently going forward. That is not a small promise. That is the entire point of this conversation. So let us start at the beginning. The reason money causes so much conflict in relationships is not because of the money itself. It is because of what money represents to each individual person. You grew up with a certain relationship to money. Your partner grew up with a completely different one. Maybe your family talked about money openly. Maybe theirs never touched the subject. Maybe you were raised to save every penny you earned. Maybe they were raised in a household where you spent it when you had it, because tomorrow was never guaranteed. Neither of those upbringings is wrong. But when two people with completely different money stories try to share a bank account, it can feel like two people trying to drive the same car from different seats. Someone is going to grab the wheel. This is what financial therapists and relationship experts call your money mindset. It is the invisible programming running in the background every time you make a financial decision. And here is the thing that most financial advice completely misses. You cannot successfully merge finances with someone until you have both gotten honest about your individual money mindsets. This is not optional. Skipping this step is like trying to build a house on a foundation you have never inspected. Everything might look fine for a while, but eventually the cracks are going to show. So, how do you actually do that? How do you have a real, honest conversation about money without it turning into a blame session or a history lesson nobody asked for? You start with curiosity instead of judgment. Ask your partner what money meant in their household growing up. Ask them what their first memory of money is. Ask them what financial security feels like to them, because I promise you, their answer might be completely different from yours. Security to one person might mean having 6 months of savings in the bank. Security to another person might mean having the freedom to spend without guilt. Those are not just different preferences. Those are fundamentally different definitions of the same word, and they will absolutely create conflict if you never address them. Now let us talk about the practical side, because theory is great, but you are here for the real stuff. When it comes to actually combining finances, couples typically fall into one of 3 general approaches. You have the full merge, where everything goes into one pot and you manage it all together. You have the full split, where you keep everything completely separate and just divide shared expenses down the middle. And then you have the hybrid approach, which is what an increasing number of financial experts and couples actually recommend for modern relationships. The hybrid model gives you the best of both worlds, while each person keeps their own individual account for personal spending. No permission slips required. The exact percentages you contribute to the joint account can be split evenly or proportionally based on income. This brings me to something that is genuinely life-changing for couples who actually implement it: the money date. I know that sounds either adorable or completely terrible depending on your personality, but hear me out. A money date is simply a scheduled, recurring time where you and your partner sit down and talk about your finances together. Not in the middle of a fight, not reactively after someone made a purchase that upset the other person. Proactively, intentionally, with snacks if that helps. The goal of a money date is not to audit each other or assign blame. The goal is to get on the same page, celebrate wins, address concerns before they become arguments, and keep both people feeling informed and involved. Couples who do this consistently report dramatically less financial conflict. And it makes total sense when you think about it. Most money fights are not really about the money. They are about feeling left out of decisions, feeling unheard, feeling like the other person does not care about the shared goals you thought you both agreed on. A regular money date eliminates a lot of that by creating a designated safe space for all of those conversations to happen on neutral ground. Let us talk about something a little more uncomfortable now, because we are not going to dance around the hard stuff. Financial secrets, also known in the field of relationship psychology as financial infidelity. This is more common than most people realize. Studies have found that a significant percentage of people in committed relationships have hidden purchases, undisclosed debt, or secret accounts from their partner. And before you shake your head and think that could never be me, consider this. Have you ever bought something and not mentioned it? Have you ever said something cost less than it actually did? Have you ever avoided a financial conversation because you knew it would cause a fight? I also want to mention something that does not come up enough in conversations about merging finances, and that is the importance of protecting your individual financial identities even within a partnership. This means both people should maintain their own credit history. Both people should understand the full picture of their shared finances, not just the part they personally manage. Both people should be capable of handling financial tasks independently if they need to. This is not pessimism. This is not planning for a breakup. This is basic financial resilience. Life is unpredictable. Illness, job loss, and yes, sometimes relationships end. A person who has been completely financially dependent on their partner and has no independent financial identity is in a deeply vulnerable position. Protecting your individual financial health is not a betrayal of the partnership. It is actually one of the most responsible things you can do for yourself and for the relationship. All right, let us land this plane. Here is what it comes down to. Merging finances successfully is not really a math problem. It is a communication problem. The couples who navigate money beautifully are not the ones with the perfect spreadsheets or the biggest incomes. They are the ones who talk openly, who respect each other's financial histories, who make decisions together, who build systems with enough flexibility to accommodate two complete individuals, and who choose honesty over comfort even when the conversation is uncomfortable. Money is going to be part of your relationship for as long as the relationship exists. You can let it be a source of ongoing tension, or you can actively choose to make it a shared language, a tool you both use fluently together. That choice is made one conversation at a time, one honest moment at a time, one money date at a time. If this video gave you even one thing to bring to your partner tonight, then it did its job. Drop a comment below and tell me what was the most useful thing you took from this. And if you have been with a partner for a while and you feel like your money conversations could be better, share this video with them. Sometimes the easiest way to start a hard conversation is to say, "Hey, I watched something that I think we should talk about. See you in the next one."